back three so they can allow Lang and Rivera to get forward.
Wolfswinkel might have struggled at Norwich City, just 1 goal in 25 Premier League appearances. That was back in the 2013-14 campaign, but he started hot in the Swiss Super League, 7 goals in 7 games. Lukaku has started very strong as well. What an acquisition he's been since joining from Everton for $96.5 million. We'll see you next at halftime. Now out to your match commentators, Jonathan Pearson, former Red Devil, Paul Parker.
The referee checks to see everything's up, and we await now just his first whistle. Off we go in Manchester United's UEFA Champions League campaign. Manchester United in the red and white, kicking from left to right away from the famous Stretford end against Basel, who have 11 points from their opening games in the Swiss League. Their worst start in 6 years. Worst start since Torsten Fink was in charge. And they picked up 9 points, but they still went on to knock Manchester United effectively out of the Champions League that season. Here's Mkhitaryan, turning it infield and steered away then by Marek Suki. A little bit of a surprise that the Swiss manager has gone to a 3. Manchester United getting in behind immediately with Romelu Lukaku, who scored 6 in his last 6 games, 5 of them for Manchester United in his first 5 games, brimful of confidence.
Yes, and I think we've seen a difference already. We've seen Lukaku make a run into that corridor down in that wide area. Ashley Young didn't even have to look, he put it in there. Lukaku makes that run. He wasn't doing that a lot for Everton. Mata
with the corner kick in. Lukaku comes down to him, turns, gets a shot away, it's half blocked and then skied over by Anthony Martial. Lukaku came to Old Trafford because he said he wanted to play in the competition, the cup with the big ears. He wanted to play in the Champions League. He's on the big stage. Yes, and I don't know if the keeper's gone the right way. I don't know if he would have seen that to stop it. It was, in the end, it was a fantastic block that stopped him actually the shot hitting the target. It was blocked by Manuel Akanji, current Swiss international, and normally playing on the right side of the centre-back trio. There he is with the orange boots. Bright start by Manchester United. Unbeaten in 5 games this season, 1 defeat in their last 8, 9 defeats in their last 70 games.
There's too many draws, Jonathan, isn't there, within that 70 games?
10 of them here last season in the league, far too many. But I think, you know, with Lukaku up front, and maybe Matic to add some steel in midfield, they've got a couple more pieces in the jigsaw to turn those draws into wins, have they?
They have, from what they had last season. Lukaku, that energy to run in behind as well, and that's made such a difference this season.
Ashley Young getting in behind for Manchester United. Good slithering challenge by the Paraguayan international. Young Blas Riveros, only 19. Picked up a couple of caps in the international break. They've still got a slight chance of qualifying for the World Cup finals. Paraguay.
Should never have got there to block it, to be honest. Ashley Young should have got that ball in a lot quicker. Should have gone earlier.
Corner kick for Manchester United. Matic is in there at that near post area. Headed away to Ashley Young. And betwixt in between that.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, I think he was definitely trying to shoot. It's just that the ball was up too high. Couldn't get it down low enough.
Jose Mourinho, already, of course, a winner of this competition. Winner with Inter Milan. A winner right at the start of his career with Porto. It launched the legendary status of the special one.
You see already United have really started sharp. They're really moving the ball quick, which they haven't been known to do in recent seasons, but they are getting the ball forward a lot quicker now than what they have done in previous seasons.
Well, butt swapped passes with Young. And away it goes to Chris Smalling. Very interesting article at the weekend in the Sunday Times newspaper in England. A long interview with Jose Mourinho, talking about how the club had stood still in time and methodology since Sir Alex Ferguson departed, and how he's turned to familiar faces, players he knows, players he's trusted. Sir Rafael Vicky was a very decent player in his own right. He's only 40 years of age. He was a defensive midfielder, played a World Cup 2006 for Switzerland and the European Championships twice. Young, good ball pinged out to him. Aramis Riveros, young South American. Back to Juan Mata.
I think we can see already that Ashley Young has been told to get forward. He's not going to go forward at the same pace or power of Valencia, but he's definitely trying to get up, push himself on and get in towards the Basel fullback.
Kanji got it away, 22-year-old centre-back. Here's Ashley Young. First appearance since May the 4th when he suffered a hamstring against Vigo. Now Luke Kasufi, big family of footballers, his brothers all play. Swiss international, wearing 7, and there's Mikael Lang, who will get forward at right wing-back. Here's Manchester United's right full-back, Ashley Young.
I think he's touched the ball more than any other Manchester United player so far, Ashley Young.
Smalling. Only that one appearance this season against Real Madrid in the Super Cup. And here's Lindelof, signed from Benfica for £31 million, made great strides there in the last 18 months. Lukaku challenged and challenged well. It should be turned away by Eder Balanta from Bogota.
Already we're seeing Manchester United ball retention has been very good, going forward with pace as well, passing with penetration, and every time Basel get it, they're just giving it back to Manchester United at the moment. They cannot get out of their own half.
Martial, a little cameo 18-minute role at Stoke at the weekend. Only one start this season before today. Now here's Sufia again. And a chance perhaps for them to play out wide to the left-hand side, and they bring in Riveros here on the edge of the penalty area. Steadies himself, tries to take on Lindelof, the Swedish defender. And it comes off Lindelof. In that interview in the Sunday Times, Jose Mourinho was saying he knew all about this as the challenge on Elyounoussi that let him down. He knows all about Lindelof, didn't need to watch him too many times because he knows everything about Benfica, everything about Portuguese football. He says he still has it in his grasp, Jose Mourinho. It's his kingdom. Akanji on the edge of the penalty, Suki in there as well. And Ricky van Wolfswinkel, his last game for Norwich, came here in a 4-0 defeat. Kanji up from the back. Last goal came against Grasshopper back in May. There's Elyounoussi, the Moroccan-born Norwegian international. It'll swing away here from Sufi. Test for Manchester United. And eased away by Mkhitaryan. Elyounoussi, certainly a bright and talented player, Elyounoussi. A couple more caps from Morocco for him last week. Pogba. Up through the gears, showed a little bit too much of it there. And it's swept away by Riveros. Mata. All of Manchester United's movement at the moment coming down the right. Matic to Pogba. Young tucked in behind it. No great movement on the edge of the box there, though, Paul.
No, there isn't. I mean, they're looking for Lukaku, and at the moment he isn't coming off into those areas where he's needed. He's made a couple of good runs into the corners, pick up balls from Ashley Cole. Hasn't done enough of showing himself through the middle. I'm seeing he's too straight sometimes to receive the ball. That's why they're not actually giving it into his feet. Otherwise, that ball will get cut out. Has to make his angles a lot quicker than what he is at the moment in time.
He's Young. And Lindelof. He won 41 of 47 league games as a Benfica player, and he made a difference to them. 3 league titles in his time at Benfica. Here's Ashley Young. Back to Lindelof. He's 23. Plenty of time. And Smalling.
I just think when you make a move to a club, like he's made from Benfica, Manchester United, the way he can get into it is by playing games. Yes, he's going to be nervous, but he needs to play as many games as possible to get himself into that position of being comfortable.
United winners in 68, 99, 2008, runners-up for 2011. And the latest time they reached the final. All down to defence by Akanji. Saw Mkhitaryan was down. Here's Mata, clever player, intelligent individual as well, very personable footballer, always prepared to have a chat with you, and can't say that about all the footballers these days. It's a different world, Paul, from when you were playing.
It certainly was, and like you said, I've known you a long time, John, and I think as players, we all knew the reporters, the journalists, and we actually approached them and had a conversation. It wasn't always about having an interview, it's just having a conversation with somebody and just to talk about the game in general.
Very fond days, fond memories. Now here's Smalling. He's got Blint away on the left-hand side. Bailey Blint. Dad was from a different era, Danny, of course. Terrific player. Here's Mata, Mkhitaryan. Ashley Young. Mata, good movement, looking for the pullback. And well cleared away.
It's great movement by Mata again, and he's actually struck that cross with his weaker foot, and it was an intelligent pullback as well.
Manchester United, 1 defeat in 12 games in Europe. It's Real Madrid in the Super Cup. But they haven't been in the last 8 of this competition since 2013-14. That has to be, I think, the minimum target for them this season. Matic. Young. That interview in the Sunday Times newspaper, great story about Mourinho's relationship with this man, Matic. He put him on as a substitute for Chelsea. Quarter of an hour later in that same game, he took him off. And Matic came to see him the next day and said wasn't happy, but he understood the decision because he admitted he was playing so badly. He said, come on, let's pick up the relationship and get on with it. And that went down very well with Mourinho.
That's something that's very rare, that one, by the way. I've seen that happen to many a player, and I don't think there's been many times after that he's played for that club or that manager, because anyone who's seen it, it's quite a big embarrassment, that is, when that happens to you as a player.
Martial there, preferred to Rashford today. Here's Lindelof, cost them £31 million from Benfica. Here's Pogba, was the world's most expensive player. Martial, need to be patient, Manchester United. They missed out on the Champions League twice in 22 years, but those 2 occasions coming in the last 3 seasons. Here's Lukaku, quickly flicked on by Martial to Mata, good movement! Header flies over from Henrik Mkhitaryan.
We have to say that was great movement, but we have to say as well that should have been a goal, or at worst a header on target. We've just seen Mata just onside, and I think he's got to hit the target there at the worst, to be perfectly honest. That was Mata, great improvisation, the way he got that ball across, and I think Mkhitaryan has to head that on target.
7 goals in cup competitions last season for the Armenian. Took a little time to get to the boil with Manchester United, as his manager acknowledges, but he says he has the ability to play in a variety of midfield positions for him. Now here come Basel. Haven't really seen them as an attacking side, but it's flicked over there by Stefan, I think it was. Renato Stefan who got forward.
But at the moment, Basel will be quite happy the way things are going. Manchester United are struggling to break them down. They're not really breaking the lines. They're not really getting in behind enough times behind their back 4. Keeper hasn't really had to work at this moment in time, so they'll be feeling quite pleased the way things are going.
Good strength by Lukaku there, shrugging Suki off it. And Manchester United pressing high. Matic, Lukaku gets his shot away. Straight at Thomas Vatslik in the Basel goal.
What I like there about Lukaku is actually somehow he must have started to realise he's a big man, and he's starting to use that weight and power that he's got there to push people over and put defenders under pressure, where we just never saw him doing that as an Everton player. When you look at him and think, you're being pushed out of the way. He should be knocking people over, getting fouls given against him, because he's using all his weight and power.
Scored his 5th in 5 games for United at Stoke at the weekend, but in the international break, a hat-trick against Gibraltar, 1 more against Greece. Belgium through to the World Cup finals, and it took his tally to 24 and 61 internationals. He is in red-hot form at the moment, is Romelu Lukaku, as an offside flag is draped for Mikael Lack. Basel have failed to win their last 8 for Champions League matches. It's their 8th group stage, their 4th in 5 years. Not since February 2016 have they won a game. It was against Saint-Etienne at home. Finished bottom of their group last season, just a couple of points. He's young.
I don't think it's the Basel of old, where they had a few very, very good individual players that make a difference in tight games at this moment in time. And one of them is now obviously at Liverpool, which is Salah, and he made a big difference to them as well when they were an attacking force. At the moment, they haven't got that at the moment in time.
Chance here for them to break with Elianusi. Carried it strongly and confidently, and neat turn back. Here's Riveros. And a bit of a misunderstanding, Elianusi, and Pogba's holding the back of his thigh. That's a worry for Manchester United. Mourinho looks on.
I don't know, Jonathan, whether he took a whack in it or whether it was a stretch, but he was involved in that little bit of a collision that went on, so I'm hoping it was he's taken a whack on it rather than he's actually stretched it.
Mata. Here's Lindelof. He's at it. Well. What an upset for Manchester United that is. 17 minutes into the game. And the man with the armband tonight will play no further part. He looked so proud when the anthem was played. This is it where he stretched for it. And immediately felt the back of his left hamstring. Fellaini, I would think, would come on.
Well, he's a normal shout, Fellaini, when there's anything for substitution in midfield. I mean, for me, Carrick would be the obvious choice. Someone who's going to get hold of the ball and maybe move it around. He makes such a difference when he does come on. If you want someone to keep the ball for you and actually find those passes, Carrick is the one. But Fellaini is the choice of Mourinho. On any change in midfield, he's the first choice.
Marouane Fellaini will come on for Manchester United. Tight-lipped, the manager. He's not everyone's cup of tea, Fellaini. Cost them £27.5 million for Everton. Hasn't started a game this season, but has come on in 4 of their matches. Scored against Leicester.
They're going to have to slightly change the way they play now, because Pogba was trying to get forward off the back of Matic being there. But maybe Fellaini just might play that little bit more forward. And you might just see United going a little bit longer with the ball as well.
And he has plenty of European experience at Marouane Fellaini. This is his 40th game in European football. Was part of the Europa League winning side last season. Remember that Belgian side that has qualified for the World Cup finals. And a real worry that for Manchester United is if he has a hamstring, can't see him playing at Everton at the weekend. Burton at home the following week, he wouldn't be risked of that in the League Cup. Then it's Southampton away before their next Champions League match against CSK away. Dropping to Mata. In comes the chip for Lukaku. And they've done well there at the back at Basel to guard against that. Suki got a vital touch on it.
Yeah, and again, it's ball goes into those areas, and somehow with a little bit of good fortune, they get away with it. Basel, the header should have been cleared better than this. I don't know what he was thinking of there. And again, it's Mata. And Lukaku maybe could have done a little bit more, could have jumped in, caused more of a problem. But Basel have dealt with everything that's a lot of stuff, I should say, that's come into the box.
Throw by Mikael Lang, who had a trial at Celtic when he was a 17-year-old. Swiss international, back in the side last week after 11 months. And Manuel Akanji. They have not offered up really anything as an attacking side. You can see their intent. One team determined to win the game, the other team determined to go away with something.
They just know how it's important. If you're going to do anything in the Champions League, you have to go away and you have to get at least a point from an away game, and which will be a big strength to them, because they know that they can go into their next game at home with a little bit of a bonus in their back pocket. That's what they're looking at doing. I think we know ourselves that if United go and score that all-important first goal, this game is over. Will be over as a contest, in my opinion.
Mata. Young arriving down the right-hand touchline. Delaney was given too much to do there. Renato Stefan got in with the challenge, trying to link up with Van Wolfswinkel. Lindelof once again tidies things up. Blind, good play at the weekend. He'd not missed a minute of the league matches up until then. Lindelof again. Manchester United's 21st Champions League campaign. They've only failed to reach the next stage 4 times. But, 2 of those occasions have come in the last 4 attempts. Since Sir Alex left, they've certainly underperformed in this competition.
One of them was during my time as well, but that's when the free foreigner rule was in. So it was a massive struggle for us to actually compete in this competition. Just
elaborate on that in a moment, because younger viewers possibly don't even know that rule existed. Here's Mata and Lukaku. Back across, goal off the post, should have been in, and he had a second bite at it as well, Mkhitaryan. The finish was a little bit casual.
It was, but I mean, can we say that the fact of he was composed with the finishing, or should we say that he was maybe a little bit arrogant the way he finished? He didn't actually seem like he didn't actually put his leg back properly on it, didn't get his foot around the ball. Lukaku's done well here, because he didn't initially, he went into a poor area in the end, and he manages with his right foot to get the ball across, and Mkhitaryan, that might just go down as a bad miss. Didn't maybe get his foot around it, because all he had to do in theory that distance was hit the target, and it's a goal.
When he scores, Manchester United never lose. Let's just go back to that, because younger viewers might not know, wherever they're watching around the world, Paul, there was a rule that you were only allowed to have 3 players from foreign shores in any one team, wasn't it?
That's right, and it made it very difficult for us, because we had to change. We had to make almost about 6 changes from a game on a Saturday to go and travel away and play in Europe. One of the changes we made was at Barcelona, and we left out Peter Schmeichel. Of course, had to leave him out because of the way it worked out going into that game, what we had to do.
Here's Blint, and hooked away. Granit Xhaka was back there defending. We've seen very little of him on the ball, Granit Xhaka's brother. He's just protecting his centre-backs.
He's having to work really hard to do that job, because they've been under a lot of pressure. They've dealt with it very well, but they're having to work really hard for it. But just going back to what I was saying, we left out Peter Schmeichel. We go to the Nou Camp and we play Gary Walsh, and we get beat 4-0.
Must have been an awkward trip back. Martial rolling it off his man. Shot was blocked there by Lang. Steered through by Lindelof. Quickly worked on Mkhitaryan. Young with the cross. Good football, Manchester United. Fellaini was in there. Cleared away by Luka Tsupi, the defensive midfield player from Winterthur in Switzerland.
I don't know if Manchester United have been told to play the way, but we haven't seen a lot of Martial. And to be fair to him, Manchester United haven't. Look, this is a rarity with them on that left-hand side. It just hasn't been flowing down that left-hand side. It's been here with Ashley Young and Mata.
Young. Want to get into the penalty area. Shadowed by Elyounoussi. Reckless clearance. Matic from range. Crowd were urging him to shoot. Young. Again trying to take on Blas Riveros, and United claim corner kick, goal kick given.
Yeah, it certainly was as well. Ashley Young, again, he's had a lot of possession. Has he done enough of it when he's had that possession? Here we're seeing that opportunity again for Mkhitaryan. He doesn't, he catches it really poorly. Looks like it comes off his toe in the end. I thought he actually got his actual full instep on it. He didn't, it was the edge of his toe. He must have taken his eye off the ball, thinking about how he was going to celebrate, because in the end, it was a poor execution that cost him dearly. And Manchester United, of course.
Frustration against Basel for Jose Mourinho again at the moment. He lost home and away against them with Chelsea in the Champions League 2013-14. This is Akanji under pressure, did well. Gets it back again. And will run it out to defence as he approaches the 100-game mark in his career. Blas Riveros likes to get forward, given more licence in the wing-back role today. He has Xhaka on the left touchline. He's managed to bundle it beyond Ashley Young. Young now wearing the captain's armband of Manchester United. Might have thought it had gone to Chris Smalling.
Yeah, I think there's a reason behind it. Chris Smalling was captain before Jose Mourinho turned up. I think Jose Mourinho is virtually saying that you're not really going to take part in enough games to actually give back to you. And that sends out the message to Chris Smalling anyway.
Powerful player is Balanta. It's a corner kick to Basel. And Akanji is in there trying to lose his marker. United did well. It came off Akanji, I think, actually, and perhaps Mkhitaryan can set up a counter. Couldn't do. Balanta played it forward to Akanji, and out by Renato Stefan. Lang with the cross into the middle. 3 against 3 in that area in the middle momentarily, but United again can skip clear. Here's Mkhitaryan. Showed far too much of it to Balanta, who came in with studs showing. Free kick given, and Mkhitaryan stays down.
Well, if he's given that as a foul, saying that what it was, what he's given and the way it was, it should be a card.
Hefty touch initially.
I don't know if he's touched him, but he's definitely, you see him goes in, look, it was more of a scissor, and his studs are actually in the ground, to be honest. His studs were not showing now. His studs are down.
And he won the ball.
And he won the ball. It's Jose saying you're not allowed to tackle.
Well, that's a yellow card for Balanta. I didn't think there was excessive force in there, and it certainly wasn't two-footed, and the foot was low. It's a strange one, that. Current rules and application of the laws make it difficult for referees, but tackling will soon be a forgotten art if it goes like this in future weeks and months.
Well, tackling is down to what the individual referee thinks, because it isn't about what's in the book, because the referees have got their own different concept, I should say, of what a tackle is.
I don't even think, you know, 4 or 5 years ago, I don't think that would have been a free kick ball.
No, without no chance. That would be deemed, during my time, that would be deemed as a great tackle, a brave tackle.
Mata might have been bumped there by Balanta, but no free kick given. Lang under pressure from Blint. Fellaini. Lindelof and Young. A lot of changes made by Manchester United tonight. The return of Lindelof is one of them, very much one for the future. £21 million, and Jose Mourinho's already talked so very highly of Eric Bailly. He's only 23 himself, the Ivorian. And they would seem to be, at the moment, their long-term centre-back pairing. Jones is still in there as well, but as Paul was saying, Smalling on the outside looking in at the moment. So Stefan is running into a dangerous corridor. Smalling got the challenge in his Fellaini. And a free kick. Basel Cloud Sufi got a little bit too tight to him. Strong as an ox, Fellaini. High in towards the Belgium. That's what he does give you.
Yeah, that's the bit that he's on there for, to get in there. That's the bit that Pogba wouldn't do, to be honest. That's not Pogba's game. Pogba's the one maybe more delivering that ball, the one being on the end of something like that when Fellaini heading it down. But if you've seen with Pogba there, United have seemed like we've seen more of Basel going forward without Pogba on the pitch now than what there was before. So Pogba made a difference by his presence on the field, and they was totally aware of him when Manchester United had the ball.
Well, that's a risky back pass. Ooh. And Thomas Vatznik had to react very quickly.
Yeah, so we have to say at half-time, I'm sure Jose Mourinho will sort that out, because in the last 5-10 minutes we've seen a lot more Basel in the Manchester United half than what they had been before.
That's it. Part of the Czech Republic side in the international break. They won't be at the World Cup finals next summer. His career might have taken a completely different path had he not failed a medical. There's a young man at de Graafschap in Holland. Here come United to test the goalkeeper again, perhaps. Splint with the cross. No question of that being a handball despite the appeal. Shuki's hands were down by his side and tucked behind his back. United need a goal. Tensions rising. The away support been fantastic. Blind. Martial. Offside.
Just haven't seen enough of Martial. I don't want to persecute him, because I just don't think he's seen enough of the ball. They haven't given enough of the ball in areas for him to do what he's good at. But somehow, and what you're looking for someone like him now, is to work his way into a game.
Looks like Clark Kent on that touchline, doesn't he?
Well, at the moment, I think he's gonna have to be Superman if he can get through this at 0-0. So I can't see them scoring a goal.
Less than 1,000 Basel fans in the ground, but goodness me, they're making a noise. He was a fine player in his time, Rafael Litsky. The sporting director, Marco Strella, you might remember him as well. He scored against United in December 2011, 2-1. He's a good player, him.
I must say, I used to really enjoy watching him play, by the way. He was so confident with the ball. He thought fantastic centre forward.
Granit Xhaka. Riveros arriving, just coming out a little bit to play now. More confidence in the box. It goes, chance! Oh, and they really should have taken it as well. Fell to Lucas Zufi. It went well wide.
No wonder Zufi's rubbing his hair. He knows he should have done better than that. And this is the problem with United. They just, when it's mattered around the area, they haven't looked really assured in their defending. And look at the opportunity he had there, and he strikes across the ball. It's come off the outside of his foot. Should have done better than that. It was an opportunity to hit the target for Basel.
The only goal this season has come against Witzwil in the Swiss Cup, and an expected victory there. Got it only by a couple of goals. They really have been off colour. They haven't won in 3 games. Here's Young, dangerous crossing, looking for Lukaku, cleared away, handball, Martial, free kick. Picked up a couple of 3 early wins actually in the league against Luzern, Thun and Grasshoppers. And after that victory over Witzwil, those Basel fans have had very little to shout about. They drew at home to Lugano, Wet, Sion, and were beaten by Lausanne. This is a team that has won the title in Switzerland for the last 8 years. They are below par, but they're holding Manchester United 0-0.
they're just doing great at the moment, the way they're defending, and they'll be quite confident at this moment in time how they've done their job. But with Champions League football, it can change so quick.
Yeah. Oh, did well. Good cross from 81-0. There's the breakthrough. Lovely piece of old-fashioned wide play by Ashley Young. Dipped his shoulder, dummy went the other way. Perfect cross. Fellaini the substitute. Right man, right place, right time, 1-0.
Did I say anything about it can change quite quick in Champions League football? I didn't mean that quick. I meant by maybe a mistake, a slip, something can happen. But we've seen for the first time Ashley Young has an opportunity 1-against-1. Doesn't have to go past the man, just have to shift it half a yard and get it across the line of the 6-yard box. The goalkeeper's rooted, Fellaini's there, standing jump. So really that's quite poor in the defensive side of it. There's someone should have been up against him, not allowing him to get such a good header. And look at that, you're not going to keep that. When Fellaini can actually just get that movement and just get across you, you're not going to win that header.
Well, if Real Madrid struggled against that sort of ball to Fellaini in the European Super Cup, Basel would also struggle against it, and they did. First real time we've seen it played, and it's 1-0 Manchester United.
Yeah, and that's the difference. When he comes on, he would play slightly. United have to play different to when Pogba's on the pitch. So the likes of Ashley Young isn't always trying to go past his man. He's just finding space just to deliver a ball into an area, and that's what he done. Just put a ball in a good area for the big man to attack, and if you put it there, he will attack it more than most players in the Premier League.
In all of Champions League football, it's his second goal. His fourth in all of European football. The special one still looks a bit of a grumpy one. Kanji he gets so wound up in it though, Jose Mourinho. Such an intense man. You meet him outside the game, he's a charming man, he has a glint in his eye, wry sense of humour, big family man. When he's in that stadium, he's a different sort of a beast. Riveros has left to put in there the challenge on Ashley Young, or has he? No, the referee's given it the other way, I think.
I'd have found that strange if that had gone against him. Ashley Young has dived in quite stupidly, really. There's no need to go and do what he done, to be honest. All he had to do was stand in and just force the ball back. He was never going to win it, and he did win it, but you can't challenge like that anymore. Regardless of him winning the ball, it's deemed as dangerous. And he's right in what he's saying, but it's deemed as dangerous from what challenge. And we saw the challenge earlier, and he's booked Balanta. He's going to book everyone now who challenges like that, regardless of winning the ball.
So the advice to anyone today in this game would be do not try a sliding challenge, and the referee is not taking it into any consideration the fact it's a very, very wet night, the pitch is slithery. Manchester United with that line of 7. McIntyre in the first man as the ball comes in beyond Mata. Oh, it was a free header. Towland was there, was it? No, it was Elyounoussi with the header. Mohamed Elyounoussi.
And in the end, that was a poor header. He's headed it practically down towards his feet. All he had to do is just, didn't have to header it down, just head it on target, head it at the goal, head it with a desire to go and hit the back of the net with it. And he didn't have that belief that he was going to head it cleanly, and that's what's cost him. That should have been 1-1.
Talent Chaka is down. Big forceful player is Romelu Lukaku. 1.90 tall and over 15 stone. Fellaini. Neatly done, Lindelof, and here's Smalling. Coaching 250 games for Manchester United to Smalling. He's a runner-up in this competition for them. And beaten by Barcelona. Riveros, the 25 there, the left wing-back has actually done reasonably well coming forward, but he was completely wrong-footed, wasn't he, by Ashley Young for the run for the goal.
Yeah, he certainly was, but we have to commend Ashley Young more than anything, the actual way he went about it. If he tries to go past his man, he might have had problems which he had done before. He's just found space at that time, and he's just put a lovely ball into an area for Fellaini to go out and attack. He's done well this first half. A lot of pressure on him because he's had a lot of the ball.
Towards Lukaku, guarded by Marek Suki, sent off at the weekend for 2 yellow offences in the defeat by Basel. 2 yellow cards inside a minute.
Should we call that lack of discipline?
5 minutes to go in the half. Here's Renato Stefan. Looking for the run in there of Elyounoussi. He's probably been their brightest player. The more internationals for Norway in the break. They had very little chance of getting the World Cup finals. They're 5th. He was actually born in a place called Al Hoceima in Morocco, Elyounoussi. Mourinho.
Decent game for Lindelof and Smalling to come back into. They haven't really been troubled. They're getting a lot of the ball, and everything they have done, they've done well. They needed this at the moment in time to come back and play, because it can't be easy to be out for so long, then to come in and play in a game with this intensity and expect to do so well.
Benfica and CSK, the other teams in the group. Manchester United will be expected to go through. It's a lovely ball into Fellaini. Could have gone for goal. He was trying to put it back, presumably for Lukaku. His talent, Xhaka, taken away from him by Matic. Just prevented any sort of breakaway there. Lovely ball this by Mkhitaryan.
With the looks and seen that there've been most players might have taken that on their chest and tried and gone for goal from there, but Fellaini maybe didn't have that confidence to go and do it. We know that he might have struggled with pace to go on from there. He was very unselfish in what he tried to do in the end.
Elyounoussi with a foul on Ashley Young. Manchester United, sorry Paul, some 6 years now. Ashley Young only averages about 25 games a season, 30 games a season in that time because of injuries.
Just looking at Fellaini, Fellaini's starting position is virtually in the area where Mkhitaryan's around, where Mkhitaryan has been sitting in behind Lukaku. We've seen that Fellaini is going in there and practically joining up with Lukaku, and that's a way that when he was at Everton he used to play in that kind of role as well.
Lovely run here by Mkhitaryan. Just buffeted off the ball by talent Xhaka, but the foul not given. Lukaku strongly in to win it back for Manchester United. Looking for Mata, gave him too much to do, and here's Van Wolfswinkel. Seen very little of him, given away by Lang. Could be expensive that. Here's Martial, Van Wolfswinkel was in front of him. And a bit of a scrappy passage of play there.
I think what we'll see in the second half, if not at the start of the second half, I think we'll see Rashford quite early coming out, because Martial hasn't done himself any justice out there. As I said before, sometimes when it isn't going for you, you don't believe you're getting a lot of the ball, you have to be a little bit selfish and go and find it yourself, go and look for it. Might affect the manager, he might be unhappy because you might have moved out of position, but at least he can see that you want to get on the ball. You're a little bit disappointed you're not getting, and go and show him that you want the ball. Martial hasn't done that.
Mkhitaryan, so gifted, 13 trophies in a 400-odd game career at his various clubs. Oh, it's a racy back pass there, nearly went out of play. And Smalling quick to acknowledge the fact it was his mistake.
I think he had to, it was needless really, he knocked it back there. It's not kind of what I mean. I'm talking about how well they've, you know, how easy the game's been from. It's been comfortable. Under no great pressure, he goes and makes a mistake like that. Could have been found out, Manchester United, because of it.
Xhaka. And by Akanji. Given away by Elianusi. And here's Mkhitaryan making inroads here. Lukaku goes to the right-hand side. Martial on the left. Dwelt on it. And was smothered by 4 Basel players. And Xhaka was fouled. It's a free kick here to Basel.
And that's where Mkhitaryan lets himself down. We know he's a good athlete, you know, in his position, you know, in Dortmund, he was in that same area. That's where he made his name. That's where he got the German Player of the Year. But that's where you want him to release it early. You get Mata in that area. Mata will be looking for the pass, maybe looking to get it back again, but he'll be looking for the pass. He doesn't get caught in possession that often, but Mkhitaryan always seems to be overrunning the ball.
We're into 2 minutes of stoppage time. Michael Lang gives chase. Best spell as a player probably came at Hamburg. Rafael Vicky from the League Cup in Germany. He won the Cup for Werder Bremen as well, but it's a different sort of pedigree for Jose Mourinho. Played 75 times for his country, Vicky. Lukaku. Martial. He couldn't keep it in play. Started so brightly as a Manchester United player, but his career isn't progressing as quickly as it did in those early weeks, or indeed as it did as a Monaco player. I saw him come on away at Nantes. I think it was his debut. He came on as a substitute. First 20 minutes, the manager made a tactical substitution, Falcao off after about 20 minutes and brought Martial on. You can imagine Falcao's face that day. And he played really well, Martial. I think it was at Nantes. Now here's Elianusi. Held it up well. Lang with the cross. Missed by nearly everyone in there, and Ashley Young has time to measure the clearance away. A big lump clearance in the end. And Lukaku bowled over Edda Belenta. And
1-0 at the break at Old Trafford. Fellaini, the goal. He came in for the injured Paul Pogba. About the only bad news for Jose Mourinho and company. Halftime show coming your way next. Neymar, Mbappe, Cavani, Lewandowski, Pedro, and Messi.
Is brought to you by Pepsi, UEFA Champions League sponsor.
Teams back out on the field again. Basel unbeaten against United at Old Trafford. 2 matches, 2 draws, but they're down at the break. Second half call, courtesy of Jonathan Pierce and Paul Parker. We'll see you after the match on the post-game show.
Manchester United will be defending the goal away to our right in the second half. So 45 minutes remaining. Basel kicking away from the Stretford end, kicking from left to right in the white and blue. Really offering up enough in the first half to suggest they can come back and trouble Manchester United. As Lukaku tries to set up Mata, but a 1-0 lead is always a fragile one. Here's Young, who's cross set up the goal. Marshalled there by Mohamed El-Nussi. Mkhitaryan tried to force a little bit through to Martial. Back defending was Ricky van Volswinkel. Send it forward, 20 yards inside his own half. Sent forward by Akanji. It's a free kick. So, first words then for the second half from Paul Parker. And what United need to do in the first 10 minutes here of the second period, Paul.
I think get hold of the ball and try and get the crowd going by hitting Basel with a good ball retention, causing problems to the back four, making the goalkeeper work, and more importantly getting that second goal to really kill the game off. That's what Jose Mourinho wants. He wants his game killed off as quick as possible. a tough home game as well at the weekend they've got, so he wants to maybe make a few substitutions, but he could do that more comfortably if he knows this game is killed off. Because he was seen on a few occasions, Basel were quite dangerous, had opportunities. They have to be better than that if they're going to create anything, because that wasn't very good.
And it came off Mikael Lang last, the former title winner with the Grasshoppers, experienced player, over 300 games in his career. As I said earlier on, might have taken him to Celtic Park when he was a teenager at Parkhead. So far, the 1-0 lead has come at a cost with the hamstring injury to Paul Pogba. We'll wait, of course, to hear the extent of that injury in the next 24 hours. Here's a free kick conceded by Eder Balanta on a yellow card. Ashley Young likewise for Manchester United. Nemanja Matic gets it back again. Europa League runner-up with Benfica. He was in Portuguese football, a couple of spells at Chelsea, of course. Big week during the international break for him. A couple more caps against Moldova and Ireland for Serbia, who are top of their group. Here's Mata. People always talk about the draining effect of international football in that break, but when you win your international games, not too draining, is it?
No, not at all. It's anything. Look, if you're winning, it gives you confidence, you want to go out and you want to play again. I mean, we used to come back after an international fly straight back on a Wednesday night. By the Thursday morning, I was going to training to play on a Saturday, and the manager wouldn't even consider thinking like I needed a rest, so I was playing regardless.
By Stefan Van Wolfswinkel. Cross might have just taken a deflection as it went all the way through.
It's been disappointing. His best bit was done a little bit earlier, I think, when he was defending Jonathan Van Wolfswinkel. He just hasn't done anything at all in that attacking third.
Talent Xhaka, Swiss-born Albanian, local boy actually to Basel, the only local player on the side. That's a good ball in. Look at Van Wolfswinkel, and Manchester United got a bit fortunate. Ashley Young swings it away. Wolfswinkel looked dangerous in there then.
I would just like to really see that again, to see if he could really have attacked that ball more and shown more purpose in what he wanted to achieve. Because it looked like for me he was standing waiting for it to happen rather than trying to make it happen. It looked like a really good ball for him to go and attack and at least get his chest to it to maybe get a shot off, but he just didn't seem to make the effort for it.
He scored a couple of goals when he was at Norwich in his 28 games, cost him a lot of money, £8.5 million. They had to offload him for £7.5 million less than that, a little bit more as well. Here's Smalling. Lost his way last season, Smalling through injury really. Missed 21 games. Here's Ashley Young.
Smalling was an automatic choice, wasn't it, under LVG? He was captain. You just saw him there, and that seemed like it was his position, but it's all changed under Jose Mourinho.
This morning, like Paul, former Fulham player. And here he is. Played many games actually for Fulham before Manchester United spent the money on him. Only 19 games before United splashed £12 million. Here's Mata, Lukaku. Valenta was strong enough. There's a little bit of a spring in the step about Basel, you know, and Manchester United have come up a wee bit sluggishly at the start of the second half. Elianusi switched away to Mikael Lang. This is if the message from Vicky, the coach of Basel, at half-time is: you up your game 20%, you play football 20% further up the pitch, and you can get something out of this, because Manchester United haven't been anything out of the ordinary so far. But here's Stefan with a cross in the middle, and he came to Van Wolfswinkel as well again. Danger signs are flashing, Paul.
Yeah, I think we know already who's come out with a little bit more appetite in his second half, and it's not Manchester United. So imagine that Jose Mourinho on that touchline is not going to be too pleased the way Manchester United have started. I think they've started as if it's going to happen, while Basel have started in the vein of we've got to make it happen. And at the moment, that suggests that they're going for it.
Martial bobbled awkwardly in the end for Vatslik.
That's the first time we've really seen Martial doing what he wants to do. He wants to come inside. He wants to shoot at goal. Doesn't catch it well. The goalkeeper goes down early. In the end, he could have been caught out by the bobble.
Blint. Decent cross in, met brilliantly by Lukaku. 2-0 Manchester United. And Romelu Lukaku's brilliant form continues. 6th goal for Manchester United. 6th goal. And he has 10 now this season already for club and country. Manchester United in the box seat. They're in an advantage now of 2 goals to 0.
And it just seems with Manchester United it's quite simple. Just get yourself in areas and put the ball along the line of the 6-yard box, and they're not going to defend properly. That's two opportunities, 2 goals, and it seems the way to go. You're not going to break them down by trying to pass through them, so just get in wide areas and deliver the ball in the box. And that's what they've done. 2 great headers, 2 great crosses.
Well, they started this second period a little bit sluggishly, Manchester United, but it's a decisive moment in the game. £75 million buys you just that sort of return. 6 goals in 6 games. What a splendid start he's had to his Manchester United career. Fellaini. Mkhitaryan. I will remind you, everyone, though, in 2011-2012, Manchester United were 2-0 up. And they slipped to 3-2 down. In the end, it was Ashley Young who got the vital goal that night. Manchester United have 5 clean sheets in the last 8 home Champions League matches, including qualifying. Worrying stat that for Basel. Van Wolfswinkel, they don't want him there, Basel. Linking play, but they need him on the edge of the penalty area. Lato Stefan. That's where they need Van Wolfswinkel in there. The shoulder of Lindelof. He did enough.
It's a shame really for Basel, because they start off the second half quite well, and against the run of play they go and concede, but it seems like it's a weakness for them. They're just not dealing with anything in the air in the box. But now, since, and it seems that way since Pogba's gone off, Fellaini's come on, and there's been more of a threat. United have gone more direct in wide areas instead of trying to, when they go into wide areas and then try and come back out, they're just putting the ball into the box, and it's been a strength.
A strange decision to replace a successful coach Urs Fischer with Vicky in the summer. Fischer had won 65 of his 99 games. They said that Rafael Vicky was more in belonging to the nature of the way they wanted to play football. And he hasn't had a great start at the moment. This is tidy football, and Stefan's played well. Sees the run of Blas Riveros up from left wing back. Fellaini turned well into space. Here's Mkhitaryan. Silent Xhaka was there. Good ball forward by Akanji. Back they come again on the attack. Xhaka looking for Elian Yusuf. Beyond Fellaini.
Slot in the end really done great to get through the challenge of Fellaini. Then you just wanted him to keep his cool and relax and keep possession, rather than go and try and do something that just wasn't possible, wasn't set to go and do. And again, we see that ball come in. They just don't attack the ball And even then, Lukaku was headed that quite easily. There was no one. If you're up against someone who's bigger than you, who's in a better position, and you have to get yourself in a position where you can't get a good header. Lukaku's headed that ball far too easy. From that distance there, if he's having an easy header with the power in that man's body, he's going to go and score 9 times out of 10.
Young to Lukaku. Mata. Matic. And Ashley Young, his 43rd game in European football. For Smalling, thanks to experience for Manchester United at this sort of level. It's his 52nd game in Europe, Chris Smalling. Back by Akanji. Xhaka. Marek Suki, the captain. He's played over 400 club games in his career, the 29-year-old Czech. Won a lot of things in his career as well, 4 titles. That's a hefty challenge by Flint. That'll be a yellow card, I think.
He's saying it's his first challenge, but it doesn't matter if his first or if his 10th. I mean, it was reckless, it was needless. There was no reason for Daley Blind to make a challenge like that.
Never going to get there, was he?
No.
That Dutch team that was absolutely fucked out of sight in France. It's one of the worst Dutch teams I've ever seen. Once that game 4-0, they were hapless that day and fairly hopeless, to be honest. And it comes in from Luka Tsufi. Flint had to defend, he was nudged.
It's more about the weekends event, it's more about the high foot. That's what that one was for, the high foot against Blind's head. It's the contentious issue of this week, isn't it? The high foot situation. After Sadio Mane's sending off for Liverpool at the weekend, he lost his appeal today. But to the extent of the suspension, they're trying to get the number of games cut back. 4 attempts on target in the game. Manchester United, they've scored from 2 of them. There's Renato Stefan, who's been a little bit bright and breezy in that position. Sufi is playing higher up the pitch in this second half. Van Wolfswinkel waits in the middle. Smalling got his head to it, and De Gea has to come and gather. Smalling done well there. He had to win that header.
De Gea looking for his 100th Manchester United clean sheet tonight. On the bench in the Europa League final. He was a Europa Cup winner with Atletico Madrid in 2010, and they beat Roy Hodgson's Fulham. De Gea with the mistake. Now it's an opportunity until Matic got back to deny Elyounoussi. He seemed a little bit hesitant, Elyounoussi. Maybe he thought that Van Wolfswinkel was going to touch it. He couldn't because he would have been offside. Here's Young. Mkhitaryan turning into space. Feeding Martial. Time is short for Martial to make an impact, one would think. Foul. Yellow card for Mikael Lang.
About as well as that Lang always knew where Martial wanted to go. He knows he doesn't want to go down the outside, and he just couldn't get his leg out of the way. His body shape was completely wrong. The moment Martial stepped inside of him, he just couldn't drag his left foot around to actually go with him once he went inside.
It's a great impact tonight. Martial in his second start this season. 4 games shy of 100 for Manchester United now. Still only 21. Mkhitaryan free kick. Lukaku headed out, parried by the goalkeeper. It would have been 7 goals in 6. What a start he's had for United. Has any player ever started a United career as well as he has?
Eric Cantona. obviously without as many goals, but there's the impact of what he actually assisting and what he done to the game. He made the difference here. Lukaku has done it with goals. There hasn't been many centre-forwards who have gone and made a start like he has.
What a player, Eric Cantona. They look for Lukaku again. Linter's first to it. Safety first, back to the keeper. Worry for Basel, they failed to score in each of their last 3 away Champions League matches. Gone away from home in Europe in 5 attempts. They only got the 1 away point last year. It was against Ludogorets. Talent Chaka, Valenta, Mkhitaryan quick to press, it paid off. Fellaini was wasteful. Just lacks that composure at times, doesn't he?
Yeah, definitely does.
Lang. Here's Akanji. Against Andorra for Switzerland recently in the break. World Cup finals next season. Akanji and Mkhitaryan won't be there with his country. Here's Stefan. Slips it in here. It's a chance for Elyounoussi. Skips away. Good save there. Lindelof dangerously went to ground there. Had the big contact. The Basel player would have gone down. Stayed on his feet. Whoa, goodness me.
He could have gone. If he'd gone, that would have been a penalty. But the referee was in a good position as well to make that decision.
Good stop, wasn't it, by the goalkeeper, Paul?
Yeah, it was. And that's where you talk about top goalkeepers. When they're not used a lot, being out of the game, not happening, you look for them to actually, when it matters, to be there and be sharp. De Gea does that. Without a doubt, his concentration levels are so high.
Martial. Forces the corner, as you know. Bounce back last. The young Frenchman from Massy.
It's very close, that one, to call, but the player was honest enough to get up. He wanted to score a goal. He wasn't concerned about maybe trying to get a penalty. He wanted to score a goal. I do like to see that.
Lindelof got a little bit lucky. Elyounoussi tight to the line.
Yeah, I don't know if that was the hold of the ball was over there. I just cannot see how that was.
Fellaini with the first, Lukaku with the second. Ooh, that's a little push by Lang that gives the free kick. Manchester United, where there wasn't much in that, and here comes a substitution. And Van Swinkel is the man who's going to go off, and Kevin Boer is going to come on. Now, Boer is more of a midfield player, really. He's an attacking midfield player, can play on either side. He's not an orthodox centre-forward. Has a couple of goals this season. He was substituted with a Coronado go at the weekend. Signed last summer from Zurich. He's had a lot of injury problems. He only played I think it was 100 minutes of football, something like that, last season.
I think we have to say, though, that Ricky van Wolfswinkel hasn't exactly played as a centre-forward in this game, has he, really? So I don't think they're going to miss him.
Jose Mourinho conjuring a change. Here's Fellaini. Deflected in! Martial poked it over. Had to snatch at it. Was still in play. And Manchester United have a free kick as Daley Blind is bundled over. Not Martial's night.
No, he needed that as well, Martial, just for the way his game's been and everything. First of all, Fellaini's done absolutely fantastic to get in that area, but Martial has come in, and to be honest, you can't really have a go at him. He's made the effort to get across the near post, but the ball comes back, it takes a deflection, and by then his body position is already made. He can't change it to react to the change in direction from the cross.
Kanji on the shoulder of Fellaini. Here's Mkhitaryan with that free kick to the far stick. Smalling was up, claims the corner. I think he's got that on the power of the appeal, but the assistant referee behind the goal was clueless. Oh, good effort. Carried away. Ashley Young. Fellaini the target. Sound goalkeeping. Just 2 home defeats for Manchester United in the last 24 Champions League matches, including those qualifying stages. There's going to be a tall order here for Basel. There's no doubt Manchester United, Paul, have been the better side.
No, there's no doubt about that. They definitely have been, but you've seen a few lapses where a little bit of good fortune or naivety has maybe been on United, has saved United in certain instances. But to be honest, you still just don't believe that Basel have got enough about them to cause any great problem. But as I've seen many times in Champions League football, and being involved in that one goal can make a difference. If Basel get it, it's amazing how fortunes can change.
Who are coming into a deep position and a play to Talent Xhaka, and comes across from Lang. And away by Lindelof to Xhaka. And now Balenta. And Boer, the substitute, coming into a deep position. He doesn't want to play as a centre forward. In comes the cross, with a flick on by Elyounoussi. And that Harmony goes wide. There's Martial for Manchester United, and on comes Jesse Lingard. The thoughts, Paul?
Well, it's no surprise. It's definitely not a surprise to me that Martial is coming off. I don't think it's a surprise to many people in that stadium, because there seems to be the players who do come off are generally the regular ones. Who do come off, the ones matter. And you know he's going to come off. Martial, or if it's Rashford on it, it's Rashford who's going to come off. So it doesn't surprise anybody. I said it quite earlier that Martial has to do something because he's not going to be around long. And again, I've got it right. He has been taken off. It'll be interesting how long Mata lasts, because I think for me he's the next one who could be changed. Him or Mkhitaryan.
Wrestling game going on there between Boer and Matic. Here's Smalling. Lint. This was too deep for Mata.
That's where he was mostly looking for Martial. He wanted Martial because Martial would have been on that side, in that area.
He's been subbed in his last 8 starts. Mata, as you say, he's the go-to guy to be substituted. But remember the start of last season when Mourinho went in, there were a lot of people saying that Mata wouldn't last. I was at the first game down at Bournemouth, and Mata wasn't going to play in that game. Mata wasn't going to have a role, and his future was going to be limited, and here it still is. Manchester United with 150 games played for the club.
For me, he's very, very important. Any creativity for Manchester United comes through him. He's that main creative player. He's the most consistent creative player. Mkhitaryan has got that side to him. He's had a few assists this season already, but he's just not consistent in what he's trying to do. And I think that's the bit that frustrates Mourinho as well with Mkhitaryan. He's just not consistent in what he tries to do.
Still tight-faced, Jose Mourinho. Rui Faria there, his assistant. Was that a muttered comment, a signal for another substitution? Plenty of time to go. Lingard. Blint arriving. Oh, wasn't the best of balls, he had to check. Still got his crossing away by Balenta. Mkhitaryan with the touch, and again Matic calmly playing. Fellaini, Mkhitaryan, break to Juan Mata, not to Ashley Young. Now by Fellaini. Manchester United need to get on a roll in this competition. A team with momentum can do well. Real Madrid with 2 successes in a row. Competition is very, very rarely won 3 times in a row. Paris Saint-Germain have the money, of course. Barcelona seem to be in transition. Juventus have already broken up their block of Juve. One of the famous 3 sold, and in dreadful trouble against Barcelona tonight. Just wonder who will be the powerhouse. Will it be an English side this year? Jose Mourinho has his doubts, but Manchester United are cruising at the moment in this one. Here's Mata. Xhaka. Elyounoussi forces it on. I think he's shown a couple of decent touches, the 23-year-old Moroccan-born Norwegian international, Elyounoussi. As Granit Xhaka watches on, his brother is playing. Elyounoussi been too deep though, hasn't he, Paul?
You can see that if he was further up, the problem is everything he's doing is being from deep positions. So by the time he gets to that area, that's when he needs help. He's gone past most of his teammates. Just get him that bit higher up, the problems he would cause.
As Lingard gets to start a league game this year into Mkhitaryan, very tight in there. 7 white shirts, 1 back by Mkhitaryan unfairly, said the referee.
I've just not seen any great width from Manchester United. And we have to say with Jose Mourinho's teams, there's not real width anyway. Real width. He's never played with great width. Chelsea, Inter Milan, Juve, Inter Milan, and I was going to say Real Madrid. He had to because he had Ronaldo then, so the ball had to be played wide. But we're seeing now Rashford is coming on, so there is width when he comes on. So I think we're looking at it now, and I think we have to say that maybe Mata's the one that's going to come off.
Marcus Rashford in brilliant form for club and country already this season. 2 for United, scored for England. Vital goal in the break. Off the bench and made a difference against Malta and scored against Slovakia. Fellaini for Manchester United. More than an hour to go. Mata. Now Young. Defender got squared up against him, and Balenta took Young out. He's already on a yellow card, needs to be careful. But Young, Blas Riveros got squared up against the runner there.
He got himself in a poor position in defending, didn't have the strength to stop Ashley Young going past him. And Ashley Young actually, I mean, he was actually going down as Balenta went near him, so I don't think he actually took him down. It was actually the earlier challenger actually where he lost his legs.
Free kick to Manchester United, which will come swerving in. Fellaini trying to lose his man, it's beyond him. And a simple claim from the goalkeeper who wasn't challenged. It's Manchester United very much in the box seat, under a quarter of an hour to go. Well, that's wasteful. Manchester United will make a change. You know that Rashford is coming on, but for FC Basel, Dimitri Oberlan will come on to the field of play as well. And Riveros, who I think looked to be a little bit tired moments ago, will be replaced by Oberlan, who actually is a centre forward. It's just that I thought they'd make the change when they took Van Wolfswinkel off and brought Bua on. I thought it would be Oberlan who would come on first. He's only 19 though. He's on loan from Salzburg. He's a Swiss under 21 international. And on comes the full England international, Marcus Rashford. And it was Mata, as you said. 9 games in a row now he's been substituted.
Somewhere along the line, I don't think he's too happy with that matter. He just can't be happy about it. As much as everyone says there's been a great relationship between him and Jose Mourinho, as a player, you can't be happy with that. But you've been taken off 9 games in a row. The team's winning. You want to be part of it. You want to be on the pitch as many times as possible. Also.
He's made a couple of good runs, Renato Stefan, from deep positions. Rashford immediately into the thick of things. He makes things happen. He gets people on the edge of their seats. And he wins a free kick. Manchester United throughout history have always had those sort of players. Duncan Edwards, Sir Bobby Charlton, Georgie Best, Giggs, Beckham, Ronaldo.
Go on, Jonathan, to be honest, really. Andrei Kanchelskis, Lee Sharp. There's been some unbelievable players that have done that. They've been lacking that in recent years. Rashford has been the one who's done that.
I saw Lee Sharp score a hat-trick in the League Cup tie at Arsenal, and I thought that kid's going to go on and conquer the world. Didn't really happen for him in the end, for a variety of reasons. Here's a free kick. Marcus Rashford, heir to that great Manchester United legacy, but will take better free kicks than that in the future.
And he has done as well.
Who was the best you played with up there at United?
Differently, it's easy to name all players we've just gone through, but if I was to go by defenders, I would say maybe the best one, I would look at Steve Bruce, someone who should have been capped by England, but he couldn't be capped by England because there were so many great centre-halves at that time.
Very dependable. Rock-steady Steve Bruce.
Didn't win many games without him, Jonathan. When he wasn't playing, Manchester United didn't win many games.
Always talked through a game as well, didn't he? Talked to his defenders all around him, talked to his team, kept them going.
Big Pete done that as well, but in a different tone.
Schmeichel.
Yeah. He was always talking, but it wasn't always there, just trying to help you.
Stefan. It's a free kick given away by Rashford. Impetuous there, the 19-year-old local boy, of course. Manchester have a Mancunian out there. 21 goals in 76 games for Manchester United. A Europa League medal, an FA Cup, a League Cup, Community Shield. Suki. Chaka. Cut forward to Chaka. It'll be a much different team at home, FC Basel. Don't travel well at all in European football. Well, not recently. I think a couple of years ago, I think they went 5 unbeaten away, but not since then. Haven't won in their last 5 on their travels. This will be 6. Realistically, I think their aim would be to be playing European football in the spring in the Europa. But they've got a chance here. No, they haven't. quickly enough. The young substitute, the teenager Oberlin. Played a couple of games back at his parent club Zurich. He's been out on loan on 3 occasions. This is the 4th. Xhaka.
He hasn't done that bad then, really, is he? That he's on loan from Zurich and he's playing for Basel, you know, the best team in that league.
That's Bua. I've seen a lot of instances. He came on now. Mkhitaryan, he's dragged down. There'll be a yellow card for Talent Xhaka. Took one for the team there.
Mkhitaryan was there straight onto that back line. At least he keeps the family in the family.
Had a fair few cards in that family in the last couple of years. Smalling waved away from Lindelof. They've been comfortable at the back. They have actually made a fair few unforced errors, but they haven't been made to work that hard.
You know, they've done their job defensively. It's just like you just said there. It's the errors they've made when they've been under no pressure. That's the one that Jose Mourinho will be looking at. Because against the top sides in this competition, you'd be found out, you'd be caught out, because they'll take advantage of that. Especially when the games are tight, you don't need unforced errors.
Matic. Here's Fellaini. Lukaku, Fellaini, good football, Manchester United. Mkhitaryan in the middle, misses it. Rashford doesn't. He's done it again. Didn't take him long to make an impact. It's Manchester United 3, Basel 0. Rashford, super sub.
There's Fellaini involved in build-up play as well. People weren't saying that a few months back about Fellaini, but since he's come on, he's been a little bit of a revelation. Those runs into those areas, he doesn't catch it well. I think he hits it into the ground first, Marcus. Rashford as well. We see it come back, yet goes into the ground first. That's what gets it over the goalkeeper. He's done well, Fellaini, to get in that area. Goes straight through Mkhitaryan's leg and bang, into the ground, takes it over the goalkeeper. Hits the back of the net regardlessly, so no, that doesn't come into it how it goes in. It's just the fact that it's in.
He has 4 goals in 8 games for club and country this season already. Marcus Rashford, and he's raced to 22 in Manchester United colours. 77 games for the club, many of those from the bench. Scored on his debut in European football against Midtjylland, scored a couple on his league debut against Arsenal 3 days later. He's been in the news ever since those days. Only seems like yesterday. But he makes things happen, doesn't he?
He does, and that's the bit I just don't understand. He's a young boy, and the one thing he needs regular football. I'm not into this, that he's young and needs a rest. As far as I'm concerned, that doesn't make any sense. He's young, he's got bundles of energy, and he wants to prove a point. He wants to score goals, he wants appearances, he wants medals. You've got to play him. Got to play him.
Sorry, Paul. Oberlin was trying to find the left-hand side that was cut out by Ashley Young. 3-0 for Manchester United, but it has been far from flawless. It has been comfortable. The scoreline suggests that, of course. And Mkhitaryan also hit the post. The keeper's made a couple of saves. There's always room for improvement. Oh! Offside. Wouldn't have counted, Oberlin.
He attacked like a player who was thinking he was going to get whacked by the goalkeeper. He just heads up back where it's coming from, and it's a goal, but he takes his eye off the ball.
Next game in the group stage is at home to Basel, home to Benfica in Basel, the St. Jakob. 27th, it'll be tough for them. And they go to CSKA Moscow in group stage match 3. It's going to be a really tough group for them. The return game against Manchester United is tail end of November. To put this into a bit of context, it is a Basel side struggling for momentum at the moment domestically. Third on the table, they're just totally unaccustomed to that. They romped the league last season. They're 10 points worse off than they were at this stage last campaign. "17 points clear at the top of young boys by the end of last season." Young. Mkhitaryan goes for the return. Manchester United finding gaps. He nearly lost his foot. Suki has conceded the corner. Young. Let's cross set up the first. Lingard, pull back looking for Matic. Sufi got the interception in. Sufi again. It's a foul. Lindelof drawn out to the wide position. Delaney. Minute to go then. Really important that the English clubs do well, because in recent years there's been too little success. 3 semi-final appearances only in the last 6 seasons by English clubs. Strong contingent this year. Polenta. It's an effort from Elianusi. Hasn't got his shooting boots on tonight.
It's a good passage of play as well. Again, at the end of it, it wasn't very good, but it was a nice little bit of football from as good as it's really been from in that attacking third. They've done okay, they've done all right, but they just haven't had an edge in the final third. Basel, Manchester United, they've been in control, but you know they can be better. But I think Jose Mourinho would look at it there. You know, his first venture with Manchester United in the Champions League. I can only believe that the next games will go on. They'll be better and be more Jose Mourinho in Europe than what they have been this evening.
We're into 2 minutes of stoppage time. It's just too far for Renato Stefan. It's going to be a 5th away defeat in 6 games in Europe for his team. Haven't had enough on the night. The closest they've come really has been through Elianusi. It was the one save that De Gea had to make from the Norwegian international. It was a telling point in the game. The turning point was 35 minutes, Fellaini 1-0.
Yeah, and I think we have to say Lukaku's goal made a difference as well, because United were quite poor up until that point, really hadn't really been in it.
So Alex Ferguson and Brian Robson, Captain Marvel. captain when you were in the England team?
Yeah. He was a proper captain.
Here is Lukaku. That's offside. The saddest things I've ever had to do in my long career, I sat with him in that hotel in Sardinia waiting for the taxi to take him to the airport to fly home after his injury. Right, I had come in from a late night out actually, but I was sat in there trying to sober up, and he was in a very sobered move as he had to move out of the World Cup finals. He'd been injured in '86 as well, hadn't he? So
Correct, yeah.
Manchester United finally gets their first home win over Basel. Rainy day in Manchester. The win dampened somewhat by the loss of Paul Pogba early in the first half. The captain going down with a hamstring injury. Fellaini there, you just saw with the game-winning goal. Lukaku continuing his success with his new club, Warren.
Yeah, a very professional performance. And Firmino, with Rashford coming off the bench scoring. The only blemish was that injury to his captain, but overall, Brad, I think it was a very professional performance.
Yeah, very good. I think we expected Man United to win. They won. They played well. De Gea wasn't troubled too much. Overall, no surprises whatsoever.
Yep, all around Europe, the big boys, they announced their presence with authority, including Manchester United.
Ditto for Chelsea, same with PSG and Barcelona. Bayern Munich with a big win and an angry superstar. A lot to get to on the post-game show. It comes your way next.
This match was brought to you by Heineken.